Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So yesterday I have shared a YouTube on the today's Wing Chun 3 sets and wooden dummy sets cannot support today's martial arts needs. And only within 24 hours, it is almost 500 viewers, and I got many messages sent to me. Some is to like to understand more, some like to argue. Now, I'm making this video is for those Wing Chun brothers and sisters who want to solve problems. Because today's Wing Chun need a solution. This video is not for those who have their ideas, their concept, their grandmaster, whatever, as those who wrote me try to argue. So please do not watch this video or continue on to watch this video if one cannot listen to physics, science, and historical evidence. We need to go into the bottom line to solve issue. It is a problem, serious problem today with the Wing Chun 3 sets and the dummy sets. So again, this video is for only those who can sit down, think clearly what is going on, and want to have a future. It is guaranteed that if you don't know what I'm talking about, you are not going to have a future with your Wing Chun. Well, sure, you can go practice BJJ, Western boxing, and then you practice your sets. But when you fight, you're still using BJJ and Western boxing. Well, sorry, that's not Wing Chun, period. Our Western boxer friends and our BJJ friend or Jiu-Jitsu friend can see that through. Okay? So if you are not belongs to the group who want to know the truth and solve the problem once for all and know the direction, please stop watching this video now. Now, to begin with, we need to solve today's Wing Chun's really disastrous problem. It is a must. Because technically, we need to be par with whatever martial art in the world. Now, the first thing we need to understand is, as I have shared the other day, in Chinese Kung Fu today, there are three things or three categories of things we need to know. One is called legend. Legends is somebody make up some stories or whatever, like the Mui, the Jisim, and so forth, which is never really exist in the history. Or who is the king of Wing Chun, which has never happened in the history of China. And then there's philosophy, concept. The closest between 2 points is a straight line. Techniques, Tan Bong Fuk can cover everything. Those are concepts. Those are in the level of concept where people have their interpretation and so forth, so forth. And the third group is the practice and verifications, where you need to go practice it, apply it, and verify it. So since 470 years ago in Qi Guang's training of his army and his writing, he always tell you, you need to go testing it out to find out what works, what doesn't work. It's not, I'm the grandmaster, I'm the king of Wing Chun. Forget about those. So the real Chinese martial art is in this part, in this practice and verification part. They know exactly what is the technical content and they test it out. That doesn't mean that to be violence, to be, I want to be number one, I'm the king of this, I'm the best fighter. It's not. It just takes out technically like any Olympic player in judo, they have to train, they have to practice, they have to learn about the counter attack and attack, like the Olympic player. Now, so that you have these three things: the legend, the philosophy, and the practice and verification. In today's world, in Wing Chun, in many Chinese Kung Fu, you only left with legends. Oh, I am belong to Yikam family. My ancestor is in Red Boat. Thus, I am the guy who know everything, the grandmaster. Oh, this is philosophy. Wing Chun is the simplest, the straight line philosophy. But it seldom get into that practice and verifications. How many of all of this Wing Chunner go spa like General Qi Ji Guang presented 470 years ago? Just look around. Can Chi Sao replace that thing? So when we want to learn a Chinese martial art, we need to know these three categories. Well, it is good, entertaining to listen to all the legends. It is good when you have time to argue about philosophy and concept, my concept, your concept. But it is deadly if one do not have the proper process of practice and the verifications. Now in the world, most do not have that anymore. And that's why today I want to share with you what is missing there, which is supporting yesterday's video on the three sets cannot support today's martial arts needs. Okay? We talk physics and science here. Because whatever in the ancient, they are not from Venus or from Mars. They are human like us, like today. So we need to be really clear and do not take legend. Like who say so and so is the king of Wing Chun, and then you say, wow, this is the king of Wing Chun, and so forth, so forth. King of Wing Chun what? Do you have a technical details there? And then philosophy, Tan Bong Fok can cover everything. Are you sure? Does the Chinese say that? So we need to have a clear mind on what it is, or else we are not going to learn what is the reality. We're going to screw ourselves big time, unless if we want to be a scam artist, just telling story to make money. Okay? But you can expect get loved by like Xi Xiaodong in China, the MMA player. They see you through because if you don't have the practice and the verifications, the common sense, they see you through. That's why they say what? Chinese Kung Fu is fake. Now the young Chinese have wake up for that. So we better know this three category. Now, so whatever say in the ancient on stories and so forth, don't believe it until you see what it the facts. You can be tactful with people. Whenever people tell you whatever, you say, oh yeah, yeah, accept it, whatever they say. But you must not buy into things like that. And when people talk about this concept, this whatever, the same thing. So that way we have a clear mind. In the Buddhism, it said that you have a proper dharma's eyes. You be able to see things clearly. If we don't know, if we cannot see things clearly, it's going to screw ourselves big time. It's going to screw our teacher, our lineage. The entire thing will collapse. Okay? So this is number one we need to know. The second thing, it is a truth now. By evidence, there are two Wing Chun exist in this world today per history of China. One is the anti-Qing Wing Chun, which is created, designed by the anti-Qing people. Like we in America, anti-Qing actually is the ancestor of the Chinese Freemason Society in America. Okay? That's who they are. They are anti-Qing. So in 1850, in the opera, that is this anti-Qing people who's anti-Qing prepare for uprising. Wing Chun is a martial arts of the opera group of anti-Qing people. So there is one, 1850, and then later in late 1860, the Qing support a start of a new opera, which is the pro-Qing opera. Today's four sets of Wing Chun is the creations by these pro-Qing opera members. They took partial of the 1800s opera and they fuse it with the Shaolin Wing Chun from the Fei Loi Temple of Canton, where you can find today. The 1850s Wing Chun is a sticking body Wing Chun, like my opponents here, this close. The Fei Loi Temple's Wing Chun, Shaolin Wing Chun, as we see, we know today, is a close body art where you stand in like the usual Qi Sao distance. It is a two different art. So Wing Chun today, the four sets is designed that way. Technically, we have evidence. That is also the reason why Wing Chun always saying that Wing Chun is Wing Chun. Because you use their technology. It's no longer the 1850s anti-Qing Wing Chun from the opera. And the Wing Chun friends, the Shaolin Wing Chun friends, do not know it exists. The sticking body short strike of the 1850s. They are different type of art. And so, for the 1850s anti-Qing, the members, the brothers, when they lost the uprising, where they go? They go to South Asia, they go to Japan, they landed in America. So in today, in San Francisco, Chinatown, you can go down there, you can see the headquarters of the Chinese Freemasons. In San Francisco, it started around 1850s. And now there are a lot of documents in Sacramento Library, in UC Berkeley, where this history is now find a home in UC Berkeley. This is history. This is real deal thing. Okay? So we need to know the 1850s is this close. This is my opponent. This is this close. It is a grappling range type of art. This is the close body range or short bridge range of art. Those are two things. The wooden dummy of today is a close range art training tool. It is not the short strike, sticking body short strike training tools. Okay? Now we need to know this part. We need to know the root of the design. Like today's cars or your cell phone. Is it from Apple or is from Google? You need to know that. Okay? Now, in the 1850s art of Wing Chun, there is the six core element, namely the physical, the mind, the breathing, which is include the intra-abdominal pressure to hold your core and to take strike, your chi flow, your strength, exertions or farging, and the momentum. It has six core elements there. So in all my in this channel, I'm keeping repeating six core element and the breathing and the intra-abdominal pressure. All of this is in this channel and is a detail. Write down everything in details in my book in Amazon.com. That is to actually safeguard the entire thing, migrate it to America. Okay? Now, so techniques. Techniques mean nothing if you say this is this hand, that hand, that hand techniques, like in the movie or in today's Chinese Kung Fu. Very important thing in Chinese Kung Fu. The bottom line of the fighting is the play, the dynamic play of momentum. You take it as the body weight, you speed up the body weight to do the striking, the attacking, the takedown, and so forth. Momentum. Within that momentum, that is the strength handling. Okay? Now, under the strength handling momentum, of course, it is your breathing and it is your intra-abdominal pressure because you need to handle the core. Under that, of course, is your physical, your muscular endurance and so forth. You have to train for that. Thus, there is no such thing as techniques, this techniques, that techniques. Now, let's get into the point. Why is it the four sets, today's four sets, disregard of lineage? Because all of the today's Wing Chun, be it from the Liangzhan lineage or from the Taifa Mingam lineage, they all belong to the Pro-Qing Red Boat. That's why they create a story of the burning of Shaolin. They create a story of Jisim Mui and so forth based on the fictions at that era, 130 years ago. So all of this is a creations. Okay? Now, as we know, the very important thing of a fighting, the bottom line is the momentum. In today's language, physics is mass multiplied by your speed. And within the momentum, there are strength. The reason why today's four sets, the 小鏈頭尋橋標誌 and the wooden army, cannot support today's martial art is because we first need to know the bottom line of the elements of fighting. Remember the sixth directional force? Sorry, the sixth element, the sixth core element. So you have the force and then the momentum. Do you know that in the force, the Chinese have it, in the force, there are in today's language the one directional strength or one directional force and the bidirectional strength or bidirectional force. So with a techniques, you need to know inside there, is it using a single directional force or strength or the bidirectional force or strength. The same thing with momentum. That is a single directional momentum and that is a bidirectional momentum. So anybody is talking about techniques, concept, it doesn't mean anything in the real life unless we have the handling of the single directional force and the bidirectional force, single directional momentum, bidirectional momentum. We condition this body be able to do the job. We cannot do a thing. So what is a single directional force? Well, single directional force is such as you can see every day today in Chinese Kung Fu, people get a opponent or a student to do demonstration like standing there, using a structure, push him, and then, you see, I push him, he push me, I cannot be pushed. Those are called single directional. Because the other party is actually following my command when I do those kind of things, those kind of demo. Or standing in a structure, punching. That is single directional force or strength. The characteristic of single directional force or strength is it is one's call to exert that strength or doing that punch. Okay? That is a bidirectional force. So what is bidirectional force versus the single directional force? The bidirectional force is like when you do grappling with the opponent, you exert force to him, he's going to exert force at you too. It is a bidirectional. Okay? You strike him, he's going to move in to press you in. Look at it like in MMA. Those are bidirectional force, meaning that you do something to him, he's going to put pressure on you, put strength, force back to you. Okay? You punch him, he come back and try to take you down, ram you in. Those are bidirectional force. You stand there up to your call. Oh, you push me, I can dissolve you. I stand straight there. Or I just punching and up to me to contact, to make the contact or not. It is a single directional force. Now, straight line type of stuff is a single directional force. So in the single directional force, you see who is faster, who is stronger, whose structure is stronger. This is a single directional force. If the opponent is faster than you and stronger than you, forget about it. Your single directional force is gone. Thus, in Chinese, there's a term on this single directional force in this type of fast and then strong with the body structure, pushing in, pressing in, those kind of stuff. It is called hard, gang. On the other hand, the bidirectional force is the force that you be able to play with your opponent. You exert force on him, he exerts force back to you. You play. You strike him, he exerts force on you. Those type of strength, the force, the bidirectional force, is called what? Soft. Rou. That's why the Japanese actually is following the ancient Chinese teaching more than the Chinese. You heard about the term Jiu-Jitsu? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What did they play? They play the bidirectional force day in and day out. They train that way, they practice that way. So, Wing Chun, since 1870, your sets, your structure, triangle, you straight line, and all those, it is all single directional force. It is hard, it is not soft. On the other hand, on contrary, it is the BJJ, the Jiu-Jitsu, the Judo, it is soft. Even the wrestler, that is soft. So to get that thing straight, okay? Now, single directional force or straight line force, you got a disaster problem. If you are not bigger than him or you cannot machine gun really faster than him. Why? Say for example, if my opponent is this wall, we just use static first before we go to dynamic. Say if I exert a force, I push the heck out of him, the opponent is going to push back because he's playing the double directional force, the bidirectional force, right? Now say if I decide to change my positions, if there is a pressure like that, the minute I raise my one leg, I'm gone. Why? Because all those resultant force need my two legs to stabilize, to have an equilibrium. The minute I lift one leg, all the balance is gone. I'm going to get thrown out. Same thing. If I do this, pressing it, press it, he pressed me back really hard. The minute I'm out, okay, you can get a friend to do that to you. Press straight line. As soon as you lift your leg, he push you. See whether you're out or not. So same thing. You put your structure like that, you fly. You put in the forward stance like this, you fly. You do in this back leaning stuff, you fly. You want to go turning with your heel, your foot, okay? You fly. So you know that all the straight line, all you practice in your four sets and your Shulin all is a single directional force. You're not going to be able to move in the real fight when everybody in today's world is playing double directional or bidirectional force. That's how bad it is. Okay? So that is what you all everybody think. Oh, Wing Chun is a straight line and fast. The philosophy is like that. But since 1996, you look at it, when it touch the BJJ, they touch the Jiu-Jitsu, they touch the Judo people, MM people, it fly. From the wrestler to Xi Xiaodong, when people get close, you're out. Why? Because your body in that structure, that triangle, and you are using that way in a straight line and in a single directional force. How are you going to supposed to handle the bi-directional force people like the jiu-jitsu guy play every day on different directions bi-directional force handling? So how useful is that 3 sets in a real life? Sure, you get somebody who don't get trained in martial art like today. You can beat them for you're fast and you are strong because you are trained. He have no idea what it is. The minute he got into like training jujitsu and so forth, can you go in there and do that? Or you get take out. Once the hand crush, your body go like a kite, lose the string, get blown away by the wind. It is a reality. Now, 1850, it is a soft art. Why? Because the writing in the 1850s say that extending or compressing, extending or compressing, you spiral and twisting or torquing. And that obey the teaching of Shaolin, short strike, from the foot to the top of the head. You keeping torquing. That's how it trained for the soft power, the soft bi-directional force. So again, say I'm pushing him, pressing him really bad. If I use a straight directional, the one directional strength or force, my body never train. I only train like that. I press, leave my eight, okay, leave my leg whether I want to go here, or go here. As soon as I leave it, I'm gone. How is the soft type of art do? Press. Get the force, tweak it. My leg is in already. He's going to struggle, tweak it. I'm in already. I'm going that direction already. It is this body. Okay? So in the previous, I shared that 4 must upgrade to version 2 Wing Chun. Is to get the body, everybody's body, into this bi-directional force type of body training, or else you have no chance because you don't even know how to handle it with your body. That's why most people like Wing Chuners go train BJJ. And is it still Wing Chun? So why do you have to do your sets, your wooden dummy? Does it work in the real life? It doesn't. Okay. Now there's strength. Same thing about momentum. If this is a weak person, older person, I can just walk and bulldoze him. Straight line, hard way, single directional momentum. Well, if that guy is a judoka, you go in like that, it's just doing a ogushi, you're out. Because the entire thing is twisting. That's momentum. It throw you out or just clinch you and take you out, take you down. So unless we know the force, the single direction, the bidirections, we know the momentum, the single directions and the bidirection. How are you going to play this game? This is not up for anybody's artistic philosophy, concept, grandmaster legend. It is bottom line, bottom line. It is physics. As I explained to you, single directional, you go direct like this, direct strength, direct power. You have to balance the entire thing, even just in statics with your two legs. So if you think about this is like the two hoses. If you think about water coming in, two hoses. If I shut one hose off, how is going to influence this thing? When there are two hoses of water going down like that, I shut one off. You're going to get sprayed away because it loses the equilibrium. Not to mention now it is momentum. At every instant, there's sensing and keeping play with the bidirectional momentum. How are you going to play? So this is what I like to share with you. Your six core element, if you have handling on this, the force and the momentum, this is what it is so basic. Can that afford to the pigeon toe, non-pigeon toe? I mean, what is this got to do with pigeon toe, non-pigeon toe? Is it true that the closest between 2 points is a straight line? Well, what if he dodge away and angle in? Are you sure if he's a 300 pound or 200 pounds bigger than you that you can machine gun him down? Straight line power, inch power. How long it take you to go doing the inch power demo for the preparations? How many shots you can do the inch power when people wrap you in like that? Or clinching your back like that? How can your body respond to that bidirectional momentum and bidirectional force? Can your structure, tucking your tailbone, have your mind power handling that thing? Since 1996, the UFC fight between the MMA, the wrestler and the Wing Chuners until today, Xi Xiaodong, you know, again and again, the reality have tell us, enough is enough. It is time to solve this problem from bottom up, or everybody sink with the ship. Okay? So this is what I like to share with you. You don't have to trust me. I don't want anybody to trust me. Go do the experiment. Get a friend there. Stand in your whatever, your structure or anything. The minute you lift your leg, he push you. See what happened. Or the minute you lift your leg, he go close at you, using his body to press you. So see what happened. So unless you have all this training, the six core element training, you really have nothing to compete. And don't give me all those internal Tai Chi, blah, blah, blah. Look at those Tai Chi guys, how they get KO within seconds when they play with Xi Xiaodong. That's the truth. Internal what? You look at everybody's demo, is the grandmaster with one of the friends. You see, I fa jing. Sorry, all those are just single directional force. Not even momentum. Okay, even you get the momentum, single direction. In the real life, it is bidirectional force and bidirectional momentum. So this is what I like to share with you. I know what I'm saying here is strict. It is a wartime. You want to teach your daughter saying that this is self-defense. Well, you know the attacker out there is going to use the bidirectional force in default, the aggressions. You want to put your daughter in screw up in the force security zone. You want to put your son there. You want to put our brothers there. So you get all this movie, one by one, all this movie. Oh, series 1, series 2, series 3, and series 5, and all this thing, and all. What do you show? It's only delusion to screw people. You screw your own Wing Chun friends. You screw your own care, devoted, royal Wing Chun student. That's how bad it is. So it has to be addressed. Enough is enough. It's not about title and this and that. It is become a epidemic already. Do you want people to close their Wing Chun school because they don't understand the single and directional strength stuff? They never train that way. And then they become really hopeless, depressed because it doesn't work. Sure, a way out is go learn BJJ, learn Thai boxing, learn MMA, learn Western boxing. How many Wing Chuners have go through that path because they feel sad? They are forced to do that. So the last thing I want to tell everybody, okay? This is serious stuff. If you are over 40 or you have a heart issue, blood pressure issue, or high eyes pressure or glaucoma issue, never ever do something that you put your head bend down to lower than your heart. Never do that. Like today in the Chamkyu set, in the BG set, people say, well, that is a secret, blah, blah, blah. This is like this mechanic. Forget about it. When you put your head under your chest level, that causes your thoracic pressure to raise high, your eyes pressure to raise high. People who have glaucoma or anything or high blood pressure and so forth, they are risking them for stroke. Okay? I'm not joking this, okay? So I'm 64 now, almost 65. Do I going to do those kind of things? Forget about it. Of course not. Why do I want to risk my life to doing those kind of things? It is a bad design. It is a loophole in the design. So never do that. Okay? In the class, you look at all the kids. If they're not the healthy people, you never want them to do anything which is put their head under their chest, meaning bow them like down. A lot of people just going down like that, like the BG said, you going down with your hand touching the ground, those kind of stuff. Okay, they are alternative to train, but not those. So again, I like to share with you. Not everything those ancient guy or claim or legend people present is legit scientifically. It is not. It is damaging if you're doing those kind of stuff. So there are a lot of things I can tell you. We have scientific evidence. If you do that, you are risking yourself. If you go only for single directional, standing there, or just moving like that, you know that when the opponent come with the bi-directional, you gone. You get wiped out. It is a scientific truth. So this is what I like to share with you. Only for those Wing Chuners, friends, brother and sister, who is royal devote to Wing Chun. You need to know the truth. We know the truth, we can evolve and improve. That's how Wing Chuners need to help each other. Not playing politics for past 100 years and you don't even know about the single directional force and the bi-directional force. Those doesn't even know about momentum. Now you are in serious problem. And you don't even know that when your head going down there in Asia, in the morning, that there's a lot of older people like to go to the for the morning walk and morning tai chi. Look at how many people who get struck by forcing themselves bowing down. Okay, we need to avoid all these things. Only then Wing Chun have a future. I cannot do everything. I only present what I know. So people be able to have a proper direction and move forward. It's like a marathon. Every generation provides something good so the next generations can make it better. It is not decades of Wing Chun is Wing Chun, Wing Chun is Wing Chun. My opinion on this, turning with your feet, the ball turning with your 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 heel, using your mind power, but you don't know that. Are you dealing with the single directional force or bi-directional force? Do you know anything about momentum?